The future of any nation is hidden in the potential of its children. At Catching Them Young, we don't wait for greatness to grow. We ignite it early. This is where champions are noticed, where leaders are born, where purpose begins. Catching Them Young, because tomorrow begins today.
Hello and welcome to Catching Them Young on the Achievement Channel, your #1 platform for inspiring stories and purposeful conversations that spotlight those shaping young minds and future leaders. I am your host, Sarah Undu, and as always, we bring you compelling discussions with change makers who are catching them young right where it matters. We are broadcasting live from the School of Eloquence studio here in Ikoyi, Lagos, and today we are delighted to have with us a remarkable woman whose passion for education and deep commitment to inclusive learning have touched the lives of countless children across Nigeria. She is an educator, a development advocate, and the founder of the Pineapple Foundation. Pineapple Adedoyin, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
So, tell us, take us back to the beginning, Penna, the beginning. How was it like for you? And what planted the seed for the passion you have currently in education and for advocacy?
I was confessed, you're looking gorgeous. I wanted to celebrate actually.
Okay,
so, you know when they say making life a better place to be,
okay,
that is just the push. So disheartening to me during school hour. See some certain children on the streets, so disheartening. And then you know when they say education is every child's right, but to some extent education is not accessible. So I have actually choose this part of making education accessible. I may not have money, but my words are actually valuable. My words are very, very much important, more than money. People might not see my name in the headline, but I tell you that how you make them feel is very, very important. How you put your name in their hearts makes you much more important. So now what makes me do this advocacy of it is because I want education to be accessible. You know when they say education and inclusion, so that is why I am advocating for this, so that everyone in the world will have access to education. I used to tell myself, I wish I have a superpower to send all the children in underserved community to school. So I feel we need to push to make the life a better place to be.
Oh. So that's great. So was there a seed? Was there something that pushed you? Was there something that pushed you into the advocacy and inclusion?
Yes, for me, feedback is a push for me, and most times I tell people that if you don't see feedback, then definitely you need to re-strategize. So many times, I remember when I was in university, I happened to school in Alabisano Banjo University, and it happens to be a semi-urban community. I used to trek all the way from my hostel to the community to teach children. So most times, these children need to be in school, but I see them taking cutlass to the farm, and I will ask them, why are you not in school this particular hour? And they told me that their daddy did not have money. So during my own leisure time while I was in school, I takes me like 45 minutes to trek to that village. I will go there to go and teach them, to educate them. My own personal savings, I'll have to buy school bag for them, notebook for them. So in my own way, I started my own school in that underserved community. Now, what plant have I been able to get from what I have planted? Because now most of them are now prefect in their school. It's a push. Leaders are already emerging. And I remember Benjamin. I used to mentor Benjamin then. And when Benjamin gained admission into the university, I gave him 2,000 that I do not have money, but take 2,000 naira for your matric. But at the end of the day, Benjamin gave me a gift. What gift? A artwork. And putting that artwork in my room, waking up every morning to see that artwork, it's just a joy to my heart that indeed this is a seed, this is a harvest. So feedbacks most times is a push for you. And if those feedback are not coming forth, try to re-strategize for you to get that feedback and don't give up.
So you're saying that the passion, what has pushed you so far, is that the feedback from the children that you see that they are unable to access education, or probably due to finance or thereabout, right?
Yeah.
So in all of these things, has there been any specific child that was a trigger point for you that, you know, pushed you into this as a life calling?
So many, like I can't count them. But like I said, you know, I mentioned Benjamin earlier. Yes, yeah. Benjamin. Now, aside Benjamin, I have we call him Keke Yawo. That's his name. You know, underserved community. So they have all those funny names and all like that. Keke Yawo is just a little boy that cannot speak in English fluently. And I remember when I was growing up, I can't even communicate in English very well. But I had to share a, you know, Bita Grammar. Do you know this textbook, Bita Grammar? This, yes, it helps him. So I gave him that book and I said, I'm already living this community, but the little one, I've been able to put you through this book. I know it will help you. Now, Keke Yawo is leading his school in competition, debate competition. Wow. And I remember he won a scholarship. So those things are actually a positive push for me that you don't need to give up. You know, sometimes I tell myself that if your faith, F-A-T-E, should fail, don't forget the faith of God. So those things, the faith I have in God in these things, this is a purpose for me. You know, the difference between you having a purpose and you cannot fulfill that purpose. I am fulfilling a purpose with the result that God has actually called me into this field of giving inspirational talks, giving textbooks to children in order for life to be brighter in future.
Wow. Wow, Penna, that's inspiring.
Thank
you. Now let's talk about your foundation.
Okay.
Tell us about the Penna Paul Foundation. What inspired it and how did it begin?
Okay, Penna Paul Foundation. Yeah. Okay, let me start with, I like giving facts and figures. I remember when I finished university 2018, and after university, you know, I said I graduated in an underserved community. So I had to come back to Lagos. And I'm like, okay, Lagos is not an underserved community. But then, I remember 25th of May 2019, I was just in my room. And the burden of, there is more. Agowoye is not the last place for you to just finish this purpose. So, that particular day, I just called my friend. My friend is a graphic designer. Damn, Larry, please, can you just design these graphics for me? Freedom to go, freedom to experience, freedom to explore. That's the team. And I got the team from Unilever. I attended a seminar about Unilever that particular year. And that's just, I'm like, I don't know this thing, but the information I got through that conference, I had to re-strategize them in order for it to get into the context of secondary school children. And 25th of May, I created the graphic design. And 26th of May 2019, I went to over 20 schools. Most of them rejected me. I used my phone. You know, technology is actually taking over. So I used my phone to create the lecture and everything. I printed it out and knocking the gate of each schools. Like, who is this small girl? You know, I have a small stature. I'm accepting that already. Who are you? All those. So most of them rejected me. I went to over 20 schools. And I must say, only 5 schools accepted me. So don't forget, I said 26th of May 2019. So the second is actually a children day. Yeah. So 28th of May 2019, the first school that accepted me said they will only give me 7 minutes on the assembly ground. 7 minutes turned to 15 minutes. And it happened that I featured in one magazine then in a newspaper. I had to share that magazine and they saw my story, my inspirational talk there. And the principal was like, wow, small but mighty, your words are valuable. And this is the first time my students will be hearing this from an outsider. Lo and behold, I started Penna Paul. I went to different schools. 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, the first school I attended, the principal called me and said, ever since you stepped into my school, there is a transformation. Ever since then, I know that, okay, Penna Paul Foundation is not just a foundation. I had to transit my body into responsibility, and my responsibility now is raising leaders, and that is how Pen and Pearl Foundation came into existence. And to the glory of God, we'll be celebrating our 6th year anniversary with positive results, leaders emerging through Pen and Pearl Foundation, awards, and all like that. We are grateful to God.
Amazing. Oh, you said something. You said, can you share with us what you actually shared with those children or the assembly girl that the principal had to call you and say that ever since you came, the words you said? Can you just give us a bit of insight?
I remember remember the first I said, freedom to grow, freedom to exploit, and freedom to experience. That's the theme of my first outreach in Pen and Pearl Foundation. So I used to tell them that irrespective of who you are, you have the right to succeed. I am a kind of person that as an inspirational teacher, I call myself, though I teach civic education, but through civic education, that context of civic education, there are inspiration in that subject. So I tell myself, I am an inspirational teacher. So I used to tell them that you have the right to succeed, despite the fact that there are limitations to you. And I tell them that you are in your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is your parents' place. But I tell you that the best comfort zone you can ever get is in the presence of God. Your parent place is, but if you are not careful, you will not know that the best comfort zone is in the presence of God. So I used to tell them that you have the right to succeed in as much as you are in your comfort zone, which is the presence of God. That school, I remember vividly, the principals, they don't used to do fellowship and all sort like that. I brought out school fellowship in that school.
Wow.
So ever since then, they used to have they used to do assembly debates. They used to do, they have president for their fellowship. You know, from SS3, when they have those particular positions aside school prefects, it's just that we are trying to bring out the leadership in them. So I remember the first one I told them, your comfort zone is in the presence of God. I used to say that everywhere I go. So that's just it.
Wow. Wow. Now I see why they had to call you back. That's good.
So
now tell us your project. It's span book drives, outreaches, and even storytelling. So tell us, how do you choose where to focus?
Okay, you know, intentionality is very, very important. There's a difference in economics. They tell us that there's a difference between needs and wants. So many times we see NGOs go to orphanage homes, they just want to take pictures. There are so many orphanages people attend that those orphanages have enough of foodstuffs. It is not about the picture. It is about the fact that we need to bridge the gap, meeting the needs of these people. So I am so intentional to the point that I do my critical research. Like I said, my targeted audience are underserved children. So I do my critical research, and permit me, I'm a Christian. I pray, I pray, God, please give me this direction. Which community do you want me to go to? Then after that, I do my critical research. You know, in a community or in a local government, there are communities. If this community should need this community do not need this. So I do my critical research. I meet the elders in those community, and I let them know that, okay, I will not go in the form that I want to bring something to them. And I just see somebody going on the street, and I ask them that, do you people have a school in this community? Another person tell me they don't have. I just do unaware personal interview with people living there. Then I know that, okay, these people really need it. Then I just tell them, can you take me to your community leader? So from there I pick it up and I execute the project. So intentionality and trying to meet the needs, not the want of community. And it is not about the pictures, it is not about the documentation. Despite the fact we need documentation for us to have result and backup. But then I tell them that it is not about pictures. There are so many outreaches that I have executed that I did not post the pictures on social media. So many. And so people, you know, like the Bible will say, if you are doing something to the right hand side, don't let the left hand know. So it's not everything I post personally to social media, but then we just need to post for branding's sake and all sort like that. But then intentionality and direction of God and meeting the needs of the community is very, very important.
Yeah. Wow. So you made mention of undeserved children. So what has been your biggest challenges so far, and how did you overcome reaching out to those children?
You know, when they say Okpo, permit me to use that word Okpo, it's plenty. But I tell people that challenges are inevitable, and at the same time, challenges are channeled to your success ground. So if you are not facing challenges in your journey of life, then definitely something is wrong somewhere. Or something is wrong somewhere. So when we talk about challenges, I have a whole lot of challenges. Is it the days of going to bed with empty stomach? Is it days of begging for urgent 2K? Yes, I will not deny it. I beg for urgent 2K because I want these children to be happy. Is it the days of people that place value on me, and I tell them that, please, can you borrow me 2K? And at the end of the day, they'll be like, people, me that they call Auntie Penna, they now call me Penna. It is not about the auntie, you get what I'm trying to say, but the fact that because we beg for donations, we don't have value again. But we get to know that it is not about the value, but about the life we want to meet. So the days of rejections, the days of embarrassment, the days of we losing value in order for me to meet, in order for us to place value. So children. Yes, those challenges are inevitable. But you know, if I don't have challenges, my success story will not be interesting. True. And my success story is actually in process, and I know one day, to the fullest, we'll share it.
Wow.
So that's just.
Wow. It's been an interesting conversation with Pen and Paul, and we will go on a short break. We will be right back.
Catching them young, because tomorrow begins today.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078, or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
teaching the world to speak.
My name is Ome Sylvia. Stay tuned to Achievement Channels for more positive information.
Hello everyone, my name is Chinedu Ndugwe. If you know you're looking out for anything to do with innovation, motivation in Nigeria or Africa, please watch out for Achievement Channel.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Zeole. Keep watching Achievement Channel for daily motivation and you're good to go.
Catching them young, because tomorrow begins today.
Welcome back. Penner, you developed a version of Snakes and Ladders to teach mathematics.
Yeah.
Tell us how that works and why play is actually important in learning.
Thank you so much. Most people have been asking me this question. Okay, so you see, dice. Every portion of your dice has a value. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We all know numbers as values. So if you should roll a dice, if you should put it on 2 on the snake and ladder board, then you have to put your seed on 2. Then if you should roll 6, so 6 plus 2 is what? 8. So normally they will play that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you understand? But then for the educational aspect of it, I put it on my board in my back in my community there, and I tell them that don't count. From your head, what is 6 plus 2? So they should not count. Now, most of these children don't know how to calculate mathematics. True. But when you tell them that 1,000 minus 800, they will tell you what? It is 200 naira. Now, we need to inculcate it in the aspect of snake and ladder. I said 8 the other time, right? Now, if you should roll the dice again and they happen to play, let me say, 6, which is the highest number. And at that particular point, they have to get to that particular number. Let me say, that particular person put it in, let me say, 12. Yes, 12 or 14. Let me use the word 14. And that particular spot of 14, snake has actually, snake, the rules of snake and ladder, and there's a snake there. So definitely for snake to bite you, if you are on the tree, if snake should bite you on the tree, definitely the person will actually go down. So if you should go down from 14 to 10, so they can't just go from 14 to 10. So I tell them, what will you subtract from 14 that will give you 10? I put that on my board. So it's just for them to calculate. Then I put 14 plus question mark equal to 10. So what should be in that question mark? It should be 4. So they should not just play it as 4. They should not just play it as them counting. Snake and ladder should help you to calculate quick. Now, if from that 14 you roll another dice and you have 6, that is 14 plus 6 is 20. So at that particular 20, you've been able to climb the ladder to 60. So, and I ask them again, don't just climb this ladder to 60. What have you been able to calculate? 20 plus what will give you 60? Then I put it there on my board again. 20 plus what will give you 60? That question mark. So now fill in the gap of that. Use your head to calculate. They tell me it is 40. 40 plus 20, it is what? 60. So snake and ladder should not just be a game of fun. Should be a game of addition and subtraction, in order for you to be able to calculate without you using pen and biro or pen and book.
Wow.
That is not the first game I've been able to craft in pen and ball. I crafted another one, Scavengers. I don't want to use the word, it's more like a draft, but because of the name draft, I don't want to use draft. So I had to pick up covers of bottles. And I tell, there's a way I had to craft it, and I tell them, think critically. How will I be able to cross over to the other side without pushing you to decide? So in my community, in Penapole Foundation, I don't just dish out words, despite the fact that inspirational words are important. I let my children know that you need to know how to think critically so that you can be smart. You know, education is beyond the four corners of the world. So if you cannot do well in class, you should be able to do well outside the four corners of the classroom.
That's right.
So that's just
Wow. Wow, that's interesting, and I see that because a lot of children love to play. Children love things that are fun. They love interesting activities, and I see that with that would, you know, bring them into the point where they actually want to learn, especially when it comes to mathematics, where they find it quite difficult. So with such games, it would, you know, inspire them into learning maths. That's amazing, Penna.
Thank you
That's
so
amazing.
much.
So how do you use creativity to make education more accessible for children with no resources?
all right. So I used to tell people that every sport in this world is a classroom, and every tool God has created is an instrument for everyone in the world to learn. This cup is an instrument for me to learn. This place is a classroom for me to learn. I've been able to learn from you. You have been able to learn from me. Do you understand? So in Penapole Foundation, I make sure every sport, anywhere I find myself, I make it a sport for everyone to learn. That is why if I'm on the streets, I make sure somebody beside me is learning. I can just, hello baby. I love little children so much. Hello baby, do you know that you are a future and your future is bright? And I use affirmation words to help them. I tell yourself you are a star. Tell yourself you are a champion. Tell yourself, I believe in myself. That is just a classroom for me. So if that particular baby is holding probably a school bag, I tell them that, do you know that this school bag is not just for me? It's just not for you to put your note inside. Do you know it's an avenue for you to keep secrets? Because our mouth is also a bag for us to keep secret. So in anything we find ourselves, let's make it a means for us to learn and for the future coming behind us. Wow. So that's just...
Wow. That's good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. So Penna, you said something, you made mention of something as a challenge. That was one of the challenges that you faced. And what you said was on funds. Yeah. So tell us, you use your personal funding for this foundation.
Obviously.
What is the sacrifice? What is that drive? What has been, pushing you into making such sacrifices?
Okay, so if your pocket is empty, you don't have a purpose. But if you have a purpose, you are rich. If your pocket is empty, you don't have a purpose. But if you have a purpose, you are rich. Now, I got to know that this is my purpose. I might not have money. I might face challenges. I have the days of me crying. The days where everybody decided to leave me alone. In my room, my pillowcase are soaked with tears. But because within a twinkle of an eye, the devil used to fail. And God will show up. He's a miracle God. He is not a magician. For the fact that even when I choose to give up, within a twinkle of an eye, He will definitely show up. So He wants me to face those rejections because He wants my success story to be interesting. And because I'm doing this because the children I'm talking to are now leaders.
Wow.
They are prefects in their schools.
Amazing.
So I'm happy about the JAM results recently. Most of my students passed.
Wow.
Most of them passed. It's a joy to my heart. So God is putting me there. I'm still in the incubating room. After 9 months, the 9 months, you understand, when God gave birth to me, then God will know that indeed I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and the story is yet to be told. That's just...
Wow. Wow. So what drives your sacrifice is that one, you understood that it's a passion or it's a purpose.
Okay, like I said earlier, the days of me giving up, but in a twinkle of an eye, you will definitely show up. Judas, he betrayed Jesus. I have Judas, but at the end of the day, what a friend we have in Jesus. I'm sorry I have to say Jesus because I'm so proud of Jesus. Do you understand? So what pushed my sacrifice is the fact that I know that God has actually created me into this calling of purpose. The book of Jeremiah 1, I have to quote Bible.
Feel free.
Book of Jeremiah 1, verse 5 says, I have known it from your mother's womb. I have ordained you as a prophet. So I know that God has ordained me. Right? So I had challenges even while I was growing up. My English were not fluent. I struggled to read and assimilate easily. But I got to understand that for me to be successful, so I picked up when I was in GSS 3. So from SS1, I featured in newspaper, going for competitions, those sacrifice alone, and the result I had and I will still have, are just the fact that God indeed has called me into this purpose, and at the end of the day, sacrifice will not just go in vain because God wants you to sacrifice. When we sacrifice our ram, when we sacrifice our listing, at the end of the day, you go enjoy them now. But I'm not doing this because I want to enjoy. I'm doing this because I am planting something. And when December comes, we go harvest. The rain will soon fall. And we will harvest our fruits.
So in a nutshell, you know that God had sent you into doing this, and regardless, you have to put in your all and see how God shows up for you in the midst of the storm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing, Penna.
Thank you.
So what message do you have for young Nigerians currently watching you who feel powerless but they want to make a difference?
Okay, so I tell people that people are not looking for perfect people, but they're looking for the presence of people. Volunteer. Tunde Onokoya used to say something. You can do a big thing from a small place. Recently, I volunteered for one event, and one of my friends said, Pena, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be volunteer. You're supposed to be on that stage. I said, no. If everybody should package themselves to be on the stage, we will plan this program to be successful. So most times, you don't need to be in the front to volunteer. You don't need to be in the front to do big things. Whatever your hand find doing, do it well and do it diligently.
Yeah. You
will stand before big people. So in anything your hand find doing, please do it well. You might not be a perfect person. I am never a perfect person, but your presence is very, very important. So you are planting that seed. By the time it will germinate, people will marvel at your work. And I know every Nigerians out there, our future will definitely be bright. Nigeria is a good country.
Of course.
If we go to Jamaica, if we go to Canada, please let's come back to our home, because we know Nigeria will be a better country. Or let me say the best country someday, sometime. That's just it.
Oh, that's amazing. So Penna, what's next for you and your foundation?
Okay, a whole lot. But according to the leading of the Holy Spirit and what God has actually placed in my heart, we are shooting a movie very soon. And the movie will be not just for children. Educators, teachers will learn from it. Parents will also learn from it. So the movie, we are already in the process of it. So we are shooting a movie very soon. And there's a project we're actually working on, making education beautiful. We've started it already. And we are going to 15 underserved community to make education beautiful. How? You know, when you are in an environment and that environment is not enticing for you to learn, you will give up. So we are trying to create a learning aid, a banner in a classroom whereby we'll place a banner in schools that don't have. We'll craft out a banner according to the educational curriculum, school curriculum. So in nursery class, we have a banner of A to Z with pictures. You know, children, they like anything animations.
Yeah.
So A for apple. When they see A, when they see apple, they know that definitely A is for apple. When they see B, B is for baby. When they see baby like them. So we are creating a banner whereby when they get into the classroom, even if they are at home, they will tell their parents, Mommy, I want to go to school today because in my classroom, education is actually beautiful. So we are going to 15 underserved community to create a learning aid for them. So the theme of the program is making education beautiful. So that's just...
Oh, that's amazing. You have so great plans. That's amazing.
Thank you
so much, Penna Paul. You've made us understand that you need purpose, you need passion, you need a vision. You also need the plan instructions from God. Right?
Definitely.
You made us understand that. And thank you so much for your inspiring story. Thank you so much.
Catching them young, because tomorrow begins today. Catching them young, because tomorrow begins today.
And to our viewers, we hope you've been inspired by this story of faith, vision, and resilience. Remember, the future is shaped by what we invest in our children today, so let's all play a part in catching them young. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow us at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for more inspiring stories and updates. Use the hashtags We See Possibility and share your own experiences with us. I am Sarah Undu, and join us next time for stories that inspire action and ignite purpose.